There's ups and there's downs, and eventually sometimes you do have to, do some powerful self-talk or some imagery or whatever.
But I did want to ask you about the 50 miles. How long around did that take?
It was like 13:47, something like that, which
running for 13 hours. I mean, you stopped like once or twice, right?
Yeah, so I gave myself exactly a 5-minute window to resupply twice at 15 and 38 miles. And that was just, that was calculated exactly how long it would take to have Janae change my socks, refill my Camelback, all that. And then that's the second one where I sat down, which I knew better too. It's like
13 hours.
I knew better. Yeah. And so, but the thing was, I wanted to break 12 in the back of my mind. It wasn't like an established goal, but I was hoping to break 12. I will. But I wanted to break 12 because they say, like, if you can run 100 miles in 24 hours, you're doing all right as far as pace. And I'm like, all right, well, if I can hang with that pace, that'd be nice. And I was killing it. I was on track to smash that until I sat down. And then that last 12 was, I feel like it took about as long as the 38 before it. So.
Some real fuckery with that, like I've been out on a bunch of runs recently where I just kind of start out. I usually start out the same way. I usually just kind of like go, and then I'm like, let me see what's available for today.
Yeah.
And then I start to kind of get into it more. I try not to obsess over like times or anything like that, but
that's good.
Sometimes you're just moving and you're like, oh, I'm moving pretty good today. And you pick up the pace and I'm like, man, I'm fucking kicking ass today. Yep. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, I'm not doing so great.
There's waves. It's a very, you ride the wave.
And your brain too. Your brain is all like on fire. It's like I chugged a mind bullet or something. It feels like everything's just fire and fire and fire. And then it's like, this isn't a good idea anymore. You should fucking go home.
So that's its own thing. But for sure, the longer you run, the more pronounced that gets. The ups and the downs.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just like we were talking, like, this is going to pass.
Yeah, you can control
when you're at the bottom and it sucks, and you know you're going to be back at the top before long. It might be an hour. It might be 3 minutes, but you're going to be back. You'll be all right. Mm-hmm. But that, admittedly, sometimes once you get closer to like your actual limits as far as just what your body can do, the mind really starts to try to save itself.
And I've noticed this is a good idea, or that's why I'm a big proponent of like trying to run in a lot of different areas. Mm-hmm. I think it's important because when you see like that you're getting close to the finish, that's when the pain will come in a little bit more. You're like, oh man, I'm close. And whether it's like a let up or whether you're just like excited because you're about to finish, even if you're thinking like I'm going to finish strong, I think you're better off being like oblivious. Yeah. Sometimes, not for all your training, but sometimes.
I mean, I set my biggest PRs in the gym when I'm not paying attention to the weight.
Right.
So I'd say the same thing. I hit the flow. Like I'm jiu-jitsu, lifting, running. I love the flow state. I try to find that and just ride it. I ride that wave But, like I said, it comes, there's ups and there's downs, and eventually sometimes you do have to, do some powerful self-talk or some imagery or whatever, in anything, not just running or training. But Goggins talks about like the Rocky movies being like the piece of imagery that he uses. Mm-hmm. I think for everyone it's different. And I think once you find yours, even if you're not a runner, it's a powerful tool. With me, it was more, I've always kind of admired feats of will as much as strength or endurance or anything else, and sacrifice. So like the story of the 300, that's always just made my skin stand on end. Or there's stories of Native American warriors when the cavalrymen were coming on the village and they needed to buy time for the women and children to escape. They'd drive a stake. A line of them would line up and drive a stake into the ground in between them and the village and the cavalrymen. And each would tie a rope to one end of the stake and tie the other end to himself and just swear to die on that ground, and he'd fight to the last. And so stuff like that has always been something that moved me.
Yeah, you're like, somebody's done shit way harder than
what I'm that's what I'm saying. Like, I can run for a day or for, until things stop working if they did that. And so sometimes it helps whatever your thing is. And for me, it's just when I feel that, when I know it's not just riding the wave anymore, when I know things are starting to shut down and, parts of my body kind of stop working.
Pieratt Project family, how's it going? So no matter what diet you're on or no matter what supplements you take, it's necessary as you get older to know what's going on under the hood. That's why I've partnered with Merrick Health. They're the premium telehealth clinic owned by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. And we have a panel that will allow you to get all of your labs done and checked in a super easy fashion. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys got to head over to merrickhealth.com/powerproject. That's REK health.com/powerproject. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save $101 off of this comprehensive panel. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
That's the time when I mentally draw a line in the sand, and I picture everything that I love and care about and everything that I could be, everything that I am on one side of the line, and everything that wants to take that away or compromise that on the other. And I just make the decision to die on that line and hold that line no matter what. And more often than not, once you do that, you get, if you're truly, truly willing to make that sacrifice, it's liberating. And after that, you hold, and you do whatever it takes. And if you fail, that's fine, but at least die like a man on your feet, So, but like I said, different for everyone.
Yeah, no, but again, like what you just did there it's another aspect of like literally being grateful for what you're doing at that moment in time. And also number one, what you're doing is it's amazing. And it is badass.
Oh, thank you.
Your mind goes to literal people sacrificing themselves and then just being like, this shit ain't so bad. Fucking be a man and run through it. Yeah. It's your ability to change your perspective out of what you're doing. I think that's like the big talent in it all, because we're always zoned in on us. But you constantly take yourself out of it and just be like, that's way better, or that's so much, or that's what we need to get better at, because we're always focused on what we're doing, focused on ourselves, focused on our actions.
Yeah.
But you have an amazing skill of removing yourself and thinking about different perspectives that makes you grateful.
I agree, and I appreciate that. I never really thought of that as a skill, but I think you might be right.
That's a skill.
Yeah,
it's definitely a skill, because like you can also listen to Rocky or do something like that, and you can get fired up, and you can be like, I'm gonna go harder, I'm gonna try harder, and that can work sometimes. But a lot of times, that'll also kind of stress the body a bit. And sometimes,
you can.
Sometimes you're opening yourself up to an injury, or just getting overheated, or whatever the fucking case may be.
So it's like. And it's a superpower. Use it when you should. If you're super strength and you're running around trying to pick stuff up all the time, you're gonna, But if you're utilizing it for that, so it's like I wake up every day. I come in here to lift. I go to jits. I run. I box. Do whatever I'm doing, and I don't hype myself. Like, this is exactly who I am and where I'm supposed to be. It requires no hype and no nothing. I can come in and do this with. I don't take pre-workout. I don't listen to heavy metal in the parking lot. I just come and do what I'm meant to do. Having said that, if you do that and you push yourself and you're truly, truly finding the edge of your comfort zone and going beyond what is safe, you're going to find some times where you have to call on those, those extra resources. But yeah, I'm not waking up every day and like, all right, I'm Ragnar Lothbrok and this is the last stand of the, Like, no, I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude, most of the time, but occasionally.
Peeps, we love bringing you all this fitness information, and we also want to help bring that information to more people. So if you could help us out, hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell, and we'll continue to bring you the heat. And I won't whisper in your ear. Talk to you guys later.